Previously, I installed the JMKMGL 75 watt LED canopy light here in the workshop, and it has been great as a primary light for in the workshop. Today I'm going to be installing the 100 watt LED canopy light from JMKMGL, and we'll be doing a test and comparison to the previous wattage light. So let's jump into it here and get this installed. The light comes tucked safely in some bubble wrap. It has some instructions on how to install. It comes with 3 wire nuts and has the light itself. Now, the first thing I noticed was that it is significantly larger than the previous light. We'll be doing that comparison here in just a bit, but it is definitely a larger light. This is the side of the light that will be facing downward. You can tell that it has a nice rubber gasket inside here to keep everything bug and water tight. It has several different patterns on the light here, but that will pretty much just show as clear light whenever it is actually turned on. The housing is a very nice cast metal here. Definitely a solid piece. It has ribs in here to dissipate heat. Has your typical white, black, and ground for wiring. Now, to install the light, you'll see here in a moment that it is quite simple. To remove the panel here that will be the mounting bracket, I'm just going to unscrew this side over here. This screw is not for holding the device up, it's just to keep the mounting bracket in place. And this plate will be removed here. Now, there are 2 ways to mount the light. The hole here is threaded, which means a conduit pipe can be stuck here, and it is a 1/2 inch. Or you can use the mounting plate, which is what I will be doing today, and this will be stuck to a typical mounting junction box there. To begin the installation, I'm going to remove the screws here from the junction box. There are usually 2 of them on this style box. Next, I'm going to install the mounting plate, which is simply just putting the plate up to the junction box, and I've got the wiring through the middle here. And the box has several different configurations for the screws to fit into. So if your box is different from mine, you can still find a way to get this to fit in there. The next step is to take wire strippers and strip down the wire. I'm going to use about 3/4 of an inch here. Ought to do it. The ground does not have a sheath on it, so it's just the white and black. Now, this light can be somewhat heavy and awkward to work with, so I'm going to take a piece of scrap wire, I believe it's 12 gauge, wrap it around the light here, and then stick this into one of these mounting holes so that I can work with the light and not have to hold it up while I'm working. And that definitely saves a lot of stress on my arms. Now, wiring the light is quite simple. Just match up white to white, black to black, and ground to ground. I like to use black electrical tape over the wiring. It helps to keep things together and prevents anyone from touching the exposed wire if there were to be one. Now it's time to get the light put onto the mounting bracket. I'm going to turn my wiring up and stick it back into my box up here. It can be a little bit difficult, but with a little work, should be able to get it. And I'm simply going to slide the 2 brackets on the sides here so that the light will be supported up here. Once the light is on the brackets, I'm going to come back with that set screw and make sure that is installed here to prevent the light from falling off of the bracket. As you can see, the light is relatively easy to install, and the bracket makes it very secure. And if you were to use a conduit pipe, you could certainly lower the light down to a different level than just having it flush mounted like this. The dimensions of the 100 watt light are 12 inches by 12 inches, so the light is square. On the 75 watt, it is 9 inches by 9 inches, so a good bit smaller in size. The bigger size does mean that it's heavier to install, but it's really not bad. A single piece of wire will help to set this up. Now that the light has been installed, let's flip the switch and see how bright this thing is. As you can see, this light is providing some serious light, and it is quite a good bit brighter than the 75 watt version. I have all the lights off here in my workshop, and now I'm going to flip the switch here on the new light. And as you can see, this light provides enough light to illuminate the entire workshop and then some. So, definitely impressed with the amount of light coming from this light. If you have a business that requires a canopy light, I would highly recommend this canopy light here. Very bright and supplies enough light for quite the large area. But if you're like me and you have a workshop and you don't want to install lots of small lights, but just one or two big lights, this is the way to go. So very bright. As always, link in the description to this light, and thanks to JMKMGL for sponsoring this video. I'm Seth Johnson with Land House, and I will see you in the next video.